Hello everyone, welcome back to the course. In this lesson, we'll be talking about supply chain certifications. How supply chain certification can help you to get into supply chains. First, we'll discuss what are the different type of certifications. Are certification enough to get any role in supply chain, or you need to do something additional? Those things we'll be discussing in this lesson. So here on the screen, I have put some certifications, which you can see. So you have certifications from ASEM, which is nothing but APICS. So wherever you see ASEM, it's similar to APICS. It's American Inventory Control, American Production Inventory Control Society. CPM is another APICS certification. CACP is also another APICS certification. Then you will also find CLTD, which is here. So these are top three certifications from APICS. So APICS is, if you ask me, whatever the different kind of certifications we have, APICS is the number one in them. So APICS certifications is going to be the number one, and you should always prioritize to do APICS certifications. Yeah. Along with APICS, we'll come to APICS. What are the certifications and different? After APICS, you will also have something called as ISM, which is Institute of Supply Chain Management. This is, I can say, second or third. If APICS is first, then I'll place on second position ISM. So these are the institutes or organizations which give certifications. ISM I can give second, and along with ISM I will also give MITx as the second position as well for this supply chain certifications. So these are the top two. uh, these are top two. First is APICS, this, then after this of course there is Coursera, Udemy, and number of courses you can do. But if you ask what are the industry recognized, yeah, industry recognized is the important term. Yeah, industry is recognizing. So industry recognized certifications, if you ask, so these are the one which are industry recognized. Industry recognized, if you just go to LinkedIn or Naukri and you just type supply chain jobs and just go to JD, and you'll find a qualification or education section. So you'll find APICS certification compulsory. Yeah, or APICS certification as an um, added advantage. Yeah, I haven't seen ISM at many places, um, or to a great extent I haven't seen anywhere, but yeah, it is quite recognized. MITx I have seen at few places. But yes, APICS is the most wanted or most most sought certification. In fact, I am myself CPM certified, so I generally get calls from the employers that hey, we are looking for someone who is CPM certified. So I'm not saying just by having CPM certification you get a job, but yeah, it is a huge added advantage. So yeah, so talking in terms of top, so APICS is the top one. So in the at last I have mentioned some note. So this is a note for everything, that these certification are can vary in cost, requirements, and it's very difficult. So it's important to do your research and choose certification that aligns with your curriculum interests. So it's just not cost, it is very costly also to some extent. So this APICS certification, at least I can tell you, it's they are quite costly. So um, yeah, think twice before you go for any certification. Not just costly, they are very time consuming. It will take 1 to 2 years roughly to complete any certifications, depending upon your past background. So choose wisely. It's costly, it's 1 to 2 years, and along with that, let me add one more: it's difficult. It is difficult. It is. So think twice before, do proper research. So before giving my CPM exam, it took me 1 year to prepare, more than 1 year. But yes, uh, I have spent, I spent around 5-6 months giving time, okay, with certification I do. So in future videos you will find what are different type of certification and which you should be choosing for as per your career goals. So yes, that is an important point to have a proper research. So let me now talk a bit more about APICS certifications. Yeah, so what are different types of APICS certifications? Let me get you all to a different screen. So here we are talking just APICS certifications. So APICS, which is American Production Inventory Control Society. Not sure why I always skip P. So it's American Production Inventory Control Society. It's one of the most recognized, most old institute. A lot of professionals who are getting APICS certified in supply chain. So yes, so APICS. So it has three courses. uh, so most so it is CSCP is certified as supply chain professional. Then there is CPIM second, which is certified in planning and inventory management. uh, this is full supply chain. So let me just write it down. It's full supply chain. And this is planning and inventory. And there is second CLTD. Hmm. So if you come here, also I have there is a bit of information mentioned: CACP, CPM, and let me take the pointer. Yeah, so here is CACP, here is CPM, and here is CLTD. So CPM is, yes, professional master end-to-end supply chain operations. This covers topics such as planning, sourcing, manufacturing, delivery. That is CACP. Then there is CPM. CPM is planning so here it's mentioned production and inventory management. Recently they have changed from production to planning and inventory management. This certification covers as demand management, procurement, supply planning, scheduling, and control. Then there is CLTD. CLTD offered by, again, APICS. So this is uh, certified in transportation and logistics professional. So that is CLTD. So sorry, this was CLTB. This is CLTD, certified in logistics, transportation, and distribution. Yeah, this was I was talking about. Is by APICS again. So coming back, CLTD. So these are four professionals. This would be more of logistics. Let me take the pen again. Yeah. So this is more of logistics. So depending upon your area of interest, you choose which which certification to go for. Now here's one important. If I speak just job point of view, if I have to speak just point of view of job, if I want to get a job or switch my career, so CACP is not a very good option. I'll give a cross for it, double cross for it, because CACP happens to be a very generic course which covers end-to-end supply chain, and this would be preferred as when you are growing as a manager. But yeah, it's not something a good course if you want to start into supply chain when you don't have any background. But yeah, if you are thinking in terms of growth within supply chain, you're already a supply chain professional and you want to grow, this is something very uh, good for you. So I'll give plus here in terms of growth. And now CPM, if I consider CPM is a very um, it's not a generic course, it's a very specific course related to planning and inventory. And if you want to go for a job in supply chain, this is, yeah, this is highly recommended. Same goes for the CLTD as well. So if you considering you are a professional who is not into supply chain, who's a beginner, who is looking to get into supply chain, for him CACP would be difficult. CACP is more for managers. So first you have to enter, become an expert, then eventually become manager. And doing a course which is a manager level course, it's a bit tricky. I'm not saying you won't get a job after this, but yeah, I'm bit what say skeptical about this. But yeah, CPM and CLTD, this definitely gives you this CPM CPP, they talk more tactical level, tactical. These two go tactical. But if you ask me about CACP, this is more strategic. you know it's more strategic, which is that's why it's for manager level. So for a beginner, nobody is going to give you directly a job which in which you have to define strategies for the supply chain. you'll always start as a tactical or operational level person, as operational level person. The same goes here. You start as operational level. So these two courses, both they talk on operational level. This one would be about talking about logistics. This is about planning and inventory. And once you have this certification, it's very likely that you can get a job, just basis on this CPM and CLTD certification. So if you ask me, is there any certifications or any certification which will have most chances to get your job? These are the these are the one, CPM and CLTD are the one which will get you, which will help you to get a job in supply chain. Yeah. So yes, um, along with that, I will also like to mention about MITx certification. So here I mentioned about MITx, right? So MITx certification. So this is again a very good course. So this is not very recognized all across, globally recognized, but this is more recognized in USA. I probably say USA, UK. Not at other places. I haven't seen much. But these CPM or APICS certification, these are global. These are globally recognized. They are globally recognized. But coming back to here, MITx certifications, these are not globally recognized. But yeah, this are a very good source of knowledge. So a good source of knowledge. These are by it's by MIT, and it's the course is divided into 5 model. It starts from fundamentals. It gives you how to use analytics is very moving in supply chain is a continuously evolving function. If you have analytics, you have a long way to go. In supply chain, you can grow a long way in supply chain. Then it had supply chain design, dynamics, and technology system. So in terms of knowledge, uh, this MITx course would be a very good option if you are considering knowledge. If you are in an organization where you can easily switch into supply chain. Switching or getting into supply chain is not a concern. Concern for you is how I can get the knowledge. So this is for the one who can easily get into supply chain. If you are already in an organization, there is your managers, your company is open for rotation in getting in supply chain, but you want to focus more on knowledge or learning, knowledge or learning of supply chain, then this is the course for you. This MITx is the course for you. This would be comparatively, if you comparatively cheaper, and these have some additional features. This have assignments, then there are case studies, so very good portal online. And not just that, if you're just knowledge centric, there is an option to do this course freely without certificate. If you just want the knowledge, you just want to learn, it's this course is worth for it's free, and it's if you want to do without certificate. As I mentioned, if you are in a situation where your employer is ready to give an opportunity, okay, get into supply chain, and you don't want to spend the cash to get certified or have certifications. So this is the course, you can freely enroll into it and go through the course. Only thing, you won't be able to get the certification, or you have your own business or startup, and you want to learn the supply chain. So this is the most recommended course which I will tell for you to learn supply chain. So let me just quickly summarize what to discuss. So if you want to have if you want to get into supply chain, you are looking more a certification which is more job oriented, job oriented, or industry oriented, right? Get a jobs, and then APICS is the one which you should go, right? But if you want a certification on the other hand, right, you want a certification on the other hand which is more good in terms of learning and knowledge, hmm? then, and you're not concerned about getting a certification, then MITx, MITx MicroMasters course. MicroMasters course is for you. MicroMasters in supply chain is for you. Yeah, you don't have to pay anything here. No, no money needed. You just, and you can learn. But only thing is, you won't get a certification. If you ask me personally, I have done both. I have uh, I have done CPM, plus I have done currently pursuing this MITx also I'm currently pursuing. I have done 3 modules already, 2 remaining. But yeah, so this MITx again, so this is MIT claims that uh, doing 5 modules of this online, you get you get as much as studying full time 1 semester at MIT. So that is the level of content they have, and believe me, it is a really good content. You can with the closed eyes go and enroll into it. And yes, so this was it. um, you can pause the screens and see whatever uh, additional notes I have mentioned here. There's this again, this PMP is not much recommended, though many people recommend it, but this is not going to help you much. Hmm. So yes, so I have roughly talked about, given you some overviews over different certifications. In future you will get more lessons where I am talking about APICS certification. Actually, I'll be talking in more detail, as I have mentioned. uh, APICS is the most important one, so you will find more lessons about different APICS, who is which certification you should be choosing out of CACP, out of CAPM, CPM, and CLTD. So there will be dedicated videos. Go through them. Now let me also talk about, is are just certification enough? So are certifications, certifications enough? If I just do the certifications, certifications are enough or not? So this would be a very tricky question to answer. If certifications, if I just do APICS certifications, can I get a job? So see, once you have APICS certifications um, imply that you have enough knowledge about supply chain, enough knowledge, and to a great extent the skill is also there to this. Mm, so depending upon the job, if the job requirement, if the job requirement is a just entry level job, which will only do, it's just required knowledge, and it requires some skill which you will get by the certifications. But along with that, the job expects some certain other things which requires in supply chain job, which is an experience, you know experience. Then sometimes it's also needed the ERP tool experience. ERP tools also required. So epic certification will definitely bridge the gap for knowledge and skills, and partially it will also bridge the gap for the ERP tool. It has apex CPM, CACP or CTD. This covers um, a basic understanding or background how ERP tool works. So it will also bridge here, but there is an experience, or there are some certain other skills also which will be required. So depending upon the employer, how much they are ready or open to to be flexible for you not having experience for ERP tools, or experience. ERP tools can be SAP, then there is O9 in the market, then there is OMP. So it's totally depends upon the employer and you, how you will be able to ace through the interviews. So epic certification will definitely help you to get your resume selected, and resume selection, and get you till mm, interview round. But it's interview round where you want to show other skills. Is your past experience relevant? You see, supply chain, let me also talk a bit more. So supply chain as a function, it overlaps with a lot of other functions. So there's a lot of overlap with production, there is overlap with quality, and there is overlap with sales, then there is overlap with product development, and there is an overlap with finance. So so if you are a person who is from this background, who is background from production, is quality, you have worked in sales or product development and finance, so you can bridge this gap of experience. You see, bridge this gap of experience from this, because there is an overlap. If you have worked in production, you can actually get a partial experience of supply chain, how supply chain works. You can see, um, just by some have some cross functional learning, or being in quality or being in sales, you come to know how supply chain functions and how supply chain responses to different situations. So if you have good learning when you are in these different functions of operations, and you are able to connect the dots for supply chain. So depending upon your previous experience, how it was, an APICS certification will help you to get the knowledge and skills, partially for ERP tools. See, all these things falls together at right place, and yes, the this will surely help you to eventually get a uh, get a job that you are looking for in supply chain. This can surely can be a breakthrough for you to get a job in supply chain. So yeah, that was it. So is certification is alone enough for you to get a job in supply chain? To a great extent, yes, it will give you knowledge about supply chain, it will give you some skills, partially for ERP tools, but there are other things required also for to be a supply chain professional. So here I have not completed the list. There can be, I'll talk about in different lesson altogether, what are the different skills required to be in supply chain. There can be a team player, you know so there will be few more things which is required to be a supply chain professional. So I'll speak that's a discussion for a different lesson. But yes, what certification is going to do, they are going to bridge the gap of knowledge, skills, ERP tools, and yes, the certifications will also give you an additional advantage, added advantage compared to the uh, others other other in other candidates who are applying for the interview. So surely it would be an added advantage, but that alone will not give you a certification. Just because you have a license, you can drive the car. That same thing doesn't happen here. It's happening here. You have CPM, CACP, CLTD certification. You say, hey, I want a job, but um, I want a job. That is not going to happen here. And there are some other things which will also be should also be taken care, and that we'll be discussing in the upcoming lessons. So let me just quickly summarize what we have discussed so far. Uh, so we started with different types of certifications, different organizations, which is APICS, ISM, MITx, and I told APICS is the best among them. It's most industry recognized. And we talked about ISM and MITx, which is the second place. And yeah, this one two, then there can be list can go and on. There can be Udemy, then there is Coursera, uh, for that matter. But yeah, if you want to be industry recognized and certification that helps most to get a job, it's the APICS. And then we talked about different types of APICS certifications, which one to choose, what are the pros and cons of all of them. And then I also talked about, yes, we spoke about then MITx supply chain certifications, which is MicroMasters program in supply chain by MITx. And um, then we discussed the difference between APICS and MITx certifications. What is the difference? Which one you should choose at what stage, or considering your different environment. And this is what I have done. I have done both. I have done MITx and um, CPM both. Then At the end we saw, okay, certification, just certification enough? What all gaps are filled by the APICS certifications? How that certification is going to help me to get a job? And we discuss about, yes, how are different functions that overlaps with supply chain, and if you have a background from those, you can actually bridge the gap of this experience. So this was it about supply chain certifications, um, how they are going to help you to make your career change in supply chain. Thank you and have a great day ahead.